Edmunds is not even an English name, okay? It's an anglicized version of the German Amsa. Hi guys, and many thanks for joining me. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Kat and I like to talk about crime, investigations, conspiracy theories and all sorts of related things. Please don't forget to make sure you hit the big red subscribe button below and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you are the first one to know about any new videos I upload. For my returning subscribers and viewers, I would like to thank you all so much for all the lovely comments I always read from you and all the support you are showing me. This is what keeps me and my channel going. Thank you so much. In today's video, I want to talk to you about Phillip Martin Edmonds. He was another guest on the Ocean Club guest list at the time of Madeleine Mccann's disappearance. But before we get started, here is the disclaimer. I do not mean to be disrespectful to anyone I talk about in today's video. The video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The information I collect is from the internet. I compile this information, make a video, and from this you guys are more than welcome to draw your own conclusions. Thank you. Okay, let's get on with it. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm honestly giving character descriptions to people who I don't really know. I spend my time researching a bunch of strangers, and at times I'm wondering, is it really worth my time? Honestly. I always find people trying to get me down, laughing at my content, bullying me, and everyone who dares defend me. I'm not talking about you, my faithful audience on YouTube. However, I do get the odd person on Facebook, in particular Facebook groups, who is wasting their time scrolling through my YouTube videos from my oldest to my latest, even taking meticulous care to analyze every single sentence in my videos, as if breaking up the script of my video word for word to try and find the tiniest error to pick on. And if there's none, then there's the question of why have I changed my opinion of the McCanns, going from pro-McCanns, as they say, to anti-McCanns, as they say, so to speak. Basically, why did I believe at one point Christian Bruckner was guilty, and then so suddenly, as they say, I dared to change my opinion, to believing the McCanns had something to do with Madeleine's disappearance? Suddenly, the fact that I changed my opinion became suspicious. I won't be naming names on here because I won't get down to their level. The point is, they instigated a row of bullying where I felt as if I was in primary school again, surrounded by my then bully, with the whole class joining the bully and laughing at me. And we are talking here about adults, not children. So my question to you is, how do you expect your child, who you educate not to bully others, not to become a bully, when you as a parent are the one bullying others? I am talking about you, the bully on social media, okay? My bully on social media. And again, if you, the bully, are trying to analyze this video too, then know this, okay? Your behavior only fuels me more and more to create content to look in more depth than I already have, because your behavior means not only that I'm getting close, but also that you've got nothing to say against my videos, so you choose to say about me, bully me and slander me. Unlike you, I do genuinely want to find out what happened with Madeleine Mccann, not go on useless sagas. No one should ever feel like that for their opinion, ever, ever. No one should get bullied for having a different opinion to others. And then, here goes my merchandise shop was put into question. My earnings on YouTube were put into question. I was not only belittled, but also accused of making money out of Madeleine's disappearance and trying to become famous on YouTube. And that's why I switched, as they say, to being against the McCanns, because it's the popular opinion. And you know, in all my riches and fame, I shouldn't go to sleep at night with a clean conscience. And all this was done on a Facebook group, on a specific, particular Facebook group. Well, since when I made this video until now, this is the second Facebook group who is doing it. Yes. This post was created by sharing my oldest video, and not by me. I did not share this video. And then the moderators and admins just watched everything escalating without doing anything to stop it. To the point where the users who defended me got either banned from the group or their comments removed. I'm sad to say that although the group is about Madeleine Mccann, that post blew out of proportions and it became nothing to do with Madeleine Mccann. In all fairness, I do not think that I need to explain myself or why have I changed my opinion. But on the other hand, I do think it's needed in case other people are wondering the same thing. So, when I first heard about Madeleine Mccann and her disappearance, it was, a couple of years ago. I didn't really give it much attention, if I'm honest. If you check my oldest videos on YouTube, I was not doing crime and investigation. But then, in June of 2020, Madeleine's name came up in the news again. This time, they were looking into Christian Bruckner as a suspect. So, watching so many other YouTube videos on crime themes and being myself fascinated by crime, by, true crime, I started making my first video on Madeleine Mccann, from what I researched in the media and all official channels, so to speak. If you've noticed, my first few videos are not even with me in them or my voice. It was a robot voice, simply because I didn't want viewers to get distracted by my toddlers, in case I would film the video myself. My following few videos were again based on the suspicions of Christian Bruckner. And then, one of my YouTube viewers, you know who you are if you're watching me, mentioned the PJ files, and she kept mentioning this. I haven't heard of the PJ files before, so I looked into it, right? At the same time, I realized I love doing this. I love creating videos, and I can see myself in the future doing it. So I thought, why not? Let me work out a way to actually be able to be in the video and talk about my views. And the more I researched and read, the more I realized that Christian Bruckner had nothing to do with Madeleine's disappearance. I learned the best way in this case would be to stay away from mainstream media, and that's what I did. And that's how I changed my opinion. Lastly, I firmly believe people can change their opinion just like that, in a day if you will, if something really convincing would come across them. And honestly, at the beginning, everyone was pro Mccann, until they decided to look deeper. And I do apologize, I started off with this. It was not meant to happen, it did, and I felt I needed to speak about it. Getting back to the Madeleine Mccann investigation. I need a coffee after this. It's so annoying when someone thinks that they are high and mighty behind the keyboard. So today I want to talk about Phillip Martin Edmonds, another guest at the Ocean Club Resort at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. Mr. Edmunds arrived with his 3 sons at the resort on the 28th of April 2007, due to check out on the 5th of May 2007, according to their original booking. In their booking, they also left some notes to suggest they might not use the return flight they booked with Mark Warner. All seems fine, right? I mean, check-in and check-out dates, all the same with the others on the guest list. But, suddenly, Mr. Edmunds and his 3 sons check out on the morning of 4th of May in a rush, without even informing the resort they are leaving, and they whoosh back to Switzerland in Mr. Edmunds' private jet. I believe their early checkout is also mentioned in the PJ files. As it seems, Mr. Edmunds and his wife Raina Heisenberg lived in Switzerland at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. However, his wife didn't join the family on their holiday, which again, it's a huge question mark, don't you think? If we are to believe it was a family holiday, just like everyone stated, right? Even more so, what's a director like Mr. Edmunds doing in a basic holiday resort? Yet another mystery, but maybe not so much. There's something else which I found weird, but again, maybe it's just me. The notes on the booking. If you look at the notes on your screen, the ones I highlighted, there's something weird going on there. So, okay, he booked his childcare for the kids. He resided in Switzerland and didn't take the Mark Warner return flight. All great, right? He already let them know he might not use their return flight, which sounds a bit like giving them a heads up really. Why did he leave so early? And without telling anyone. What really happened there to change his mind? Was he trying to get rid of evidence, or did he panic about what happened with Madeleine? Did he have a role in it and he was trying to make his escape before all the press saw him, before everything unleashed? He is a well-known and connected individual. Maybe he was afraid someone might recognize him, or he didn't want to get his name associated with a child's disappearance. Which brings me to this. Again, like in so many of my other videos, I come across STEMcore yet again. STEMcore, I'm pretty sure you remember from my previous videos. According to Wikipedia, STEMcore is a British steel trading and distribution company acting as intermediary between buyers and sellers of steel and raw materials. It's one of the world's largest independent steel traders. The largest shareholder of STEMcore in the US is Apollo Global Management. STEMcore was founded in 1951 as the London subsidiary of German trading company Coutinho, Caro & Co. The company was founded by Herbert Coutinho and the German immigrant Hans Oppenheimer, each taking half a stake in the business. The German company was sold to J. McDermott in 1984, and in 1985 Hans Oppenheimer died, passing his 50% ownership of the London company to his children. In 1987, the year I was born, in 1987, Ralph Oppenheimer negotiated his family's purchase of the remaining 50% of the company, right? This is when the Oppenheimer family gains full control of STEMcore. When the deal was completed in February 1988, the London company name was changed to STEMcore. According to his genealogy, Ralph Oppenheimer's sister is Dame Margaret Eve Hodge and Hannah Edmunds, among other siblings. Margaret and the late Sir Henry Hodge were really close friends of Tony and Cherry Blair. It seems the Hodges persuaded the Blairs to move to their street in Islington in the 1990s, and several of the strategy meetings in the early days of New Labour took place at the Hodges' house. Oh my god. Okay. According to Kate's diary, Sunday, June 17th, quote, Cherry Blair, then the Premier's wife, phoned to find out how we were. We talked about everything in general, including about them leaving number 10. She agreed as well to make a 20-second video clip for our broadcast on YouTube about Madeleine and children who have disappeared. I also had a chance to speak to Tony, then Prime Minister, who told me that we weren't to hesitate to ask him if there was something he could do to help. End of quote. Now, I have tried finding the video Kate McCann mentions, however, I couldn't get hold of it at all. Please, if you do know where to find it, please leave a link in the comments and I'll make sure to check it out. Thank you. I'm really curious to see what she had to say. As reported by the Daily Telegraph and so many other media outlets, Tony Blair is the godfather of one of Rupert Murdoch's daughters. Rupert Murdoch is the owner of News of the World, The Sun, The Times, and so on. Basically, the most influential newspapers in the UK. Then, of course, we also have the story of Rebecca Brooks working for News of the World, her involvement in the Find Madeleine Fund. She was also part of the Leveson inquiry. So many things here, so many things. In 1994, after the death of Joe Richardson, Margaret Hodge won the Barking by-election. As a new MP, she co-nominated the candidature of Tony Blair. After the sudden death of John Smith, and in 1998, she became a junior minister. Margaret Hodge was the UK politician who has been accused of covering up the child abuse scandal in the London borough of Islington. She was constantly linked to care home child sex abuse and murder rings of British children in the BBC Islington, Jersey, when she was head of Islington Council and their subsequent cover-up. Hodge described reporters who broke the Islington child sex abuse story as the gutter press and the victims as mentally unstable and extremely disturbed. To widespread horror, Tony Blair made Hodge his Minister for Children in 2003. Then Hodge went on TV in 2003 and invited any children in care with complaints to write to her directly. Who would do that? Seriously, would those children write to her directly? I don't buy that. When she was chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Margaret Hodge, as it turns out, it was discovered her family company, Stamcorp, paid only 0.01% tax on £2.1 billion of business generated in the UK. It also seems Lizzie Watson, a senior BBC News editor, is Margaret Hodge's daughter. So now, there's an extra reason to believe the media is not so much unbiased. We knew that already anyway, but this is one extra thing. Mr. Phillip Martin Edmonds is Margaret Hodge's nephew. Born on 31st of August 1962, according to a genealogy website, Phillip Edmonds married Raina Heisenberg, and they have 3 boys, all of whom were out with Philip in Praia da Luz for the week the McCanns were there. Now, when you visit the website of Stamcorp.com, the world's largest steel company with a turnover measured in billions, Phillip Edmonds' name doesn't come up as one of the directors. But if you look at the next screen recording, you will see all the Stamcorp branches he was involved in and was a director of as well. Phillip Martin Edmonds worked in Stamcorp Risk Management AG, Stamcorp Financial Services Limited, SSS Super Alloys Limited, Stamcorp Europe Limited, Stamcorp Trading Services Limited, as a company director, a steel trader. The next graph will show you the timeline. Between 2009 and 2015, he was a director of Stamcorp Risk Management. Between 2004 and 2009, he was a director of SSS Super Alloys Limited. Between 1991 and 2008, he was a director in Stamcorp Financial Services Limited. And at the same time, he was also a director of Stamcorp Trading Services Limited. And other directors in this company included Ralph David Oppenheimer, okay? Between 2000 and 2007, he was a director of Stamcorp Europe Limited, and you can look here at all the other directors. Philip's uncle, Ralph Oppenheimer, is also on the Stamcorp board. So, Stamcorp is an Oppenheimer family business. All this has come about because Philip's father, Herbert Edmunds, made a wise choice in marrying into the Oppenheimer family. Hannah Oppenheimer was the eldest of 5 children of Hans Oppenheimer and his wife Lisbeth Holischer, an Austrian Jewess. Hans was born in Stuttgart, Germany, but fled to Alexandria in the mid-1930s as Hitler's anti-Semitic Nazi regime was stepping up its persecution of Jews in the lead-up to World War II. His first 4 children, including Hannah and of course her sister Margaret Eve Hodge, previously Oppenheimer, were all born in Alexandria, Egypt. Hodge being born on 8th of September 1944 in Alexandria, Hannah 3 years later in Orpington, Kent, UK. In the 1980s, Margaret Hodge married Sir Henry Hodge, her second marriage, and became known as Margaret Hodge. Lady Hodge inherited a lot of the Oppenheimer fortune and is one of Britain's wealthiest women. But with all her fortune, she claimed excessive parliamentary expenses from the British taxpayers. And I'm leaving the link for more info in the description below. Philip's father and mother, Herbert and Hannah Edmunds, lived in Bromley, Kent. Hannah Oppenheimer's father, Hans, was the son of Salomon Oppenheimer, born 1871 in Oringen, West Germany, and in turn Salomon is the son of Abraham Oppenheimer, who in turn was the son of another Abraham Oppenheimer from one of the many branches of this powerful German Jewish family. And then there's also another thing. Edmunds is not even an English name, okay? It's an anglicized version of the German Amsheimer. Phillip Edmunds' father, Herbert Amsheimer, was born in Karlsruhe, West Germany in 1930s, and the family changed their name to Edmunds when arriving in England. There's a funny thing about this name changing, really. I believe that they changed their names to lose any trace of them being Jews. This is how I see it. I remember reading somewhere that Rothschild did just the same. They changed their names so they are not traced or detected as being Jews. And there's also something else that I read, which again is quite interesting, but coffee break. It seems that these families, they would marry in the family, like cousins and stuff like that, just to keep the bloodline and also keep the business and the money in the same family, which is quite clever really if you think about it. And also, they would have been, or probably even now, a huge family spread all over with a lot of people not knowing they are related, and it was sort of planned or visualized this way. Again, something to do with the money and business staying in the family, but without anyone else knowing it's actually in the family. Do you get what I mean? Okay, moving on to another point. Anthony Bennett, I'm quite sure you heard of him, he sent a letter to Phillip Edmunds asking if he had any photo with Madeleine taken on holiday in Praia da Luz. I will also leave the link to Anthony's letter in the description below, but I will read to you the reply Anthony Bennett received from Phillip Edmunds. And I quote, "Dear Mr. Bennett, I am in receipt of your letter of 22nd of July regarding Madeleine Mccann. I am sure you would appreciate that it would not be appropriate for me to comment too much, as we don't know each other, and I have no idea what your connection to the case is. However, I would also not want further conspiracy theories to fester by simply ignoring your letter. Therefore, I can confirm that whatever information I had, including some photos of my sons taken on the day Madeleine disappeared, which showed her in the background, was passed both to the police and to the McCanns at the time. Having been in Portugal at the time of Madeleine's disappearance and seen all of the events firsthand, there is not one shred of doubt in my mind that the events as reported were correct. In fact, one of the most terrible parts of this tragedy is that there are people out there who are questioning this, just adding further to the nightmare that the McCann family have suffered. I cannot imagine anything crueler. I'm afraid I won't enter into further correspondence on this matter with you. Yours sincerely, Phillip Edmunds." End of quote. And this is what Mr. Edmunds had to say to Anthony Bennett. So, now, honestly, I have no idea which photos those are. I don't even know if they have been added to the PJ files. Then, I also have to ask, how is it that an Oppenheimer would choose to have a holiday in Praia da Luz at the Ocean Club? One of the most influential families in the world, and they choose particularly this resort. What was going on there? And then again, how can someone completely unrelated in any way to the McCanns or knowing them can say for certainty that's how the events unfolded? How can someone who did not see exactly what happened know for sure it happened as the McCanns said? It seems that the world's most influential people, most influential organizations, high-profile individuals and politicians seem to have a connection somehow, which again has a connection somehow which leads to the McCanns or their circle. And all these companies have subsidiaries, the subsidiaries then have other subsidiaries, and so on, until you get so deep in looking into them that you get lost and have no idea where you started or even where you're heading. You can't break the link because it just connects to another and another, effectively like a circle, like a vicious circle which can't be broken apart. We have a bunch of medical professionals, scientists, pharmaceutical companies, port and down, politicians. Did I say that already? No. Politicians, police, investment banks, brokers, lobbyists, influential families, even one of the largest steel companies in the world. In my opinion, they all seem to play a role in this. But what is this? What are we trying to uncover here? These are some questions which I'm afraid will prove almost impossible to answer. And with this I got to the end of my video. Thank you so much for staying with me and for watching. If you think you found any useful information in the video and you are not subscribed already, please make sure you hit the big red subscribe button below. Also hit the notification bell so you are the first one to know about any new videos I upload. Please like and share. This really helps me and my channel, and it really supports me to make more and more content for you. Stay safe and take care. Thank you. Bye bye.